Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde and Shooter Hunt here with the latest episode of Coffee and Curveballs. Shooter, we got a two-parter for our fans today as we are going over the area code games. We're going to start with the upperclass portion. We'll have another episode with underclass. But as always, ton of standouts at the event in August.
Yeah, it's a premier event where all the top players in the country come together. Huge for professional scouts to get eyes on these guys, and a lot at the underclass event as well.
No doubt. So, starting with the upper class, we're going to run through 7 standouts. First and foremost, we got to start off with Tyler Soderstrom. Left-handed hitting catcher from Northern California. We saw him at the NorCal Pro Case early in the summer. I liked him there. Again at PDP, and then at Area Code Games, he just kind of brought it all together and absolutely went off. 4 for 10 with a triple and a double. He had at least 5 exit velocities of 91 or better. He had one that was like 104 off the bat, and it was a double. You could have classified it as an error, but really, for the sake of the second baseman's safety and his life, I gave him a double because really he just tried to make a spin play and get out of the way. It was complete survival mode.
Yeah, not to mention he's a plus receiver behind the plate. Real quiet. You can rest a cup of coffee on his head, and a big arm through the bag. It was a real treat to watch him the last couple of days receiving.
Excellent. Speaking of guys behind the plate that are good receivers and good defenders, Kevin Pareda, again, very steady defender behind the plate, threw a couple of guys out during the area code games, but he continues to just absolutely rake. It's a right-handed bat. He can go to all fields. He had 4 exit velocities of 95 or better, 2 at 100 and 102. This guy, I mean, he's had one of the best summers of this class.
Yeah, Georgia Tech recruit. Georgia Tech picking up a lot of catchers. It's almost becoming catcher U over the last few decades. But Pareda was excellent all summer. I mean, from when we saw him the first week in June all the way through, he continues to hit big time pitchers. So another premium draft talent there.
Excellent. On that second day of Area Code Upperclass, the Texas Rangers threw out a stable of arms with Jared Kelly, Cam Brown, and Tanner Witt. Starting off with Kelly was the no-brainer, and boy, oh boy, did he impress. Fastball was anywhere from 93 to 98. He was spotting it up, too, so it's not like he's just gassing it up there and saying, hey, you're not going to hit it. He's spotting it up on the corners. He retired the first 8 he faced, only walked 1, struck out 6. We've questioned the breaking ball in the past, and it's still coming along for him, but boy, oh boy, that changeup's pretty advanced for him.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Texas bringing another premium, high-end, strong-armed right-hander.
Certainly. Out of Colorado for the Cincinnati Reds squad, representing the Four Corners, we got Jack Moss, a big, physical, long-limbed, left-handed hitting first baseman, recently committed to Arizona State. He had the biggest week of them all, 8 for 16 with 4 doubles and a triple, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Every time he was up, it was just barrel after barrel. And the thing is, Shooter, you talked about it yourself, got those long limbs, but he's able to stay pretty short.
Yeah, and he produced again against good arms. And coming from Colorado, where he's not seeing those top arms throughout the high school season and really getting those quality at bats, for him to get to SoCal and face dudes right away and produce says a lot about his high ceiling.
Certainly does. Coming from just down the road from your hometown of Portland, Oregon, we've got Mick Abel. Didn't have his best fastball at the area code games, which can't fault him. It's the end of the summer. A lot of those guys are tired. But he was 89 to 93 and showed an above-average slider with late bite in the low 80s. Also had a fading changeup. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Clearly one of the top right-handers in this class.
Yeah, you're looking at the Oregon State recruit. It's a premium talent, and he is the top arm coming in. It looks the part. He's long and lean, projectable frame. The arm just works real easy, jumps out of the hand with minimal effort. A lot more. I'm going to get to see him a ton in the spring, so I'm excited about that.
Excellent. You will be definitely on Mick Abel duty all spring. So, a couple of years ago, Sean Duncan and Steve Nielsen at the Future Games came to me raving about a first-round southpaw that they had just seen out of Oklahoma. That was Dax Fulton. He's still spinning it. He's still bringing it, looking the part of a first-rounder from the left side. 2 perfect innings for him. Struck out 4, 89 to 92, and man, he can spin a plus curveball.
Yeah, and spin wins, obviously, Rohde. So you got a big physical left-hander like that with big arm talent who can command and control some secondary pitches like Dax Fulton can, the Vanderbilt recruit, it's going to be tough to get him on campus.
It will be, for sure. Wrapping us up here, we got Jason Savakul, a right-hander out of New York, pitched 4 innings for the Yankees, struck out 9. Fastball was 90-93, showing that live arm that he showed all summer. Previous looks for me, he wasn't landing that slider, and we know that's been a pitch for him in the past. It was definitely better at Area Code Games. He was finding it a lot more. Still inconsistent, but when he was on it, it was definitely an above-average pitch.
Yeah, the Maryland recruit, we've gotten great reports from Jared Carrier and Dan Savit out of New York that talked about his talent level. You see it more the longer he's in the game. He has that starter mentality where he gets better as the game goes along. And I thought he showed that one of those last days at the area codes where his stuff stayed up. He stayed 90-92 throughout. Really like his competitive nature.
Excellent. So there's a look at some standouts from the area code games. We'll definitely talk a lot more on a podcast in the near future. We also have an article up with 20 names plus video to look at from the area code upperclass portion. Stay tuned for more as we go into the area code underclass games with a second part of Coffee and Curveballs. But as always, for Shooter Hunt, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was Coffee and Curveballs, and until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.